joined today by Gary Spirer, the CEO of DilogR, who's joining us at Transformational CMO Assembly in Nashville. Gary, it's very nice to meet you. Welcome to Millennium Live. So we're going to kick off right away. We have been talking a lot this week about brand, about personalization, about using data to have smarter interactions with your customers. So how important is this to marketers today?
Well, everything marketers are looking for is the customer experience. And it's a real challenge. How do you get people to engage? So we're an engagement engine. How do you turn what people want right now is they want to get what they want, but brands don't want to be salesy and push things at their customers. So what we're doing is turning the cold traffic or somebody's list into a conversation. We call it the right conversation. And what does that mean? We're using questions and answers, traditional polls, or this or that answer. But what if you could ask somebody a question and immediately say, do you like this or that? Or gee, choose the one you like the most? Or select from one question, what do you like the most? Which ice creams do you like? Select all. Or what are the top 2 ice creams out of 7 that you like? So all of a sudden, the customer experience is fun. It's engaging, and they're telling you one-on-one in a private conversation what they want, and you can deliver it to them, and it's your products, but they walk away feeling you're an advisor, you didn't sell me.
No, it's very true. We hear a lot about how businesses are data rich but knowledge poor, I like to say. So they've got all this data that thanks to digital marketing and all these crazy platforms, we have mountains and mountains of data, but we don't have the knowledge to use it. So how do you guys help marketers to use it smarter?
Because what's happening is people collecting a lot of data and big data. So let's take an example. We've heard a lot about artificial intelligence coming in. And people think, oh, artificial intelligence is a mind reader. But let's say you're a meat eater and you just switch to vegetarian. Artificial intelligence doesn't know that. So we feed the microdata, the input, with the unique data that says, I just switched. Otherwise, you're going to get sent Omaha steaks. I don't want steaks anymore. So now that they said, I'm a vegetarian, are you a vegan? Do you want recipes? So every time they answer, you're segmenting for them and giving the customer what they want. So it's become a market of one. Every person is a market of one. So all that data now that's out there, you're validating, updating what it is, and making it specific to what that person wants. That's what everybody's looking for, and that's what we do. And then we send that out into CRM systems, marketing automation systems. So we're enhancing what everybody has and just complementing their assets, but integrating them in a way that the data makes sense so they can get actionable insights.
No, it's very interesting. We talk a lot about how automation is obviously a big trend. It's a hugely powerful tool for marketers, but consumers need a sense of authenticity. So they need to feel like they are attached to the brand. So how important is storytelling when a company is trying to present their brand the right way?
Well, the way people learn is through Q&A. So people learn implicit in a story. Since I'm a writer and a novelist, and I've done film scripts, so it's kind of something I understand. So when somebody comes in, you start a novel or anything, a story, there's always an implicit question. Who did it? Who is this person? Who's the character? Why should I care? And so storytelling is good, but what brands are finding is that if they really do it well, they get the customers to tell the story, because otherwise they're saying, here's the story, you have to listen, that's a monologue. But when you get the customer involved and the customer is saying, oh, I like the brand, hey, here's how I use this, then the influences, the local, so it's all going to change where the storytelling is going to go more to the person, and they're going to be the ambassadors for the brand. That's why I see it going. So storytelling is good, but it's going to morph out to the people and let them tell your story, because then it's authentic.
So, one of the things that's a big challenge in marketing at the moment is that the industry is constantly changing. There's new technology, new ideas, new data, new all this stuff. How can marketers be not only reactive to change, but also proactive?
So the definition of a good technology is it has to be adaptive to the changing environment. So when marketers come in, the first thing they normally think in a context, I have a page or a web page or a landing page or I have a fan page. The next thing they do is they put static content on. Here's an image, here's a video, here's a slide or whatever they have. But content has to be, and communications dynamic, to adapt with the context and the environment. So you want to be interactive so that you're evolving as technology changes. You have to be interactive and adaptive. Otherwise, it was good today, but it's not good tomorrow. So we've built in that the dynamic ways that as technology changes, you could use our technology to integrate with AI. It'll integrate in time with voice. It'll integrate with blockchain. All these different things that will come out. They're just integrations because it's still driven by the story or the conversation. So that's where it's going to go. So the fellow Jeff Bezos at Amazon said, look, I understand there's going to be a lot of change. I want to know what's not going to change. So what's not going to change is stories and conversations. So that's what we're about. What won't change but can adapt. No matter how technology changes, you're always going to tell a story. Story's going to lead to conversation, and conversation is going to lead back to a story.
Yeah, it's very true. It's interesting, marketers are trying to be much more agile. I'd say agile is the word. Businesses need to more agilely react. So there needs to be an element of agility. And I think you've sort of hit the nail on the head there. Knowing what's not going to change and then understanding what change could mean is definitely the way to do that. So we always ask one of our guests a couple of questions about how they've enjoyed the event. So what would be your number one takeaway from the Transformational CMO Assembly?
I think what's important is you start to see the people who are really the top marketers as people. And that's different than they're just a face. And the ability to interact on a personal level where you would never have the time, that they wouldn't have the time, and you wouldn't have the time. But when you humanize a relationship, face-to-face will never go away. So you need that high touch, high tech. So this enables you to see what are the real challenges of people behind the doors when you go behind the curtain and they're saying, gee, even that we have this big title, here's our struggle and challenge. Can you help? And everybody is coming together to try to help each other. So it's a community unto itself, and everybody leaves with value.
So one last question for you. What would be your top tip for CMOs in 2018?
I think the top tip is to not get overwhelmed with technology, but start with the sense that technology can enhance if you start small and understand your objective and not feel like, oh, I don't want to look at this, or I don't want to look at that because everybody has a solution they're selling me. I think it's smarter to say, okay, what's my real objective? So when I have spoken to people here, I go, look, what's your biggest challenge? What do you really want to accomplish? And somebody would say, well, why would I need what you're doing? And I say, look, if it's not for you, I don't want to sell you. So I think it's important that if you open your mind to the possibilities and then ask people who are innovative, they may have the best solution for you if you just give them a chance. And the whole thing is once you give the chance, the creative minds will come together and you'll have a much better chance having the solution than just trying to do something that everybody else does so you can check that off and it's really not going to work. and then you're not going to get the result you want, and everybody loses.
You're a true marketer, Gary. Think of the customer first before the sale. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again at future events.
Thank you.